Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. Welcome back, everybody. So, what happened today in the market? We need to talk about that before we get started on big mega cap stocks. And you can see, even right now, Dow future is down another 100 points, and that is not looking good. And you can see this, tariff thing definitely going on, and he's not backing down from it. But things are gonna really get worse. Now you can see, Federal Reserve is unlikely to rescue markets and economy from tariff turmoil anytime soon. So a lot of fear and bad news out there. With that being said, look at this Dow nose diving today, down 4%. We got Nasdaq down 6%, S&P down nearly 5%, and Russell going down the most in bear market, 6.42%. Here's 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500, and you can see on top pretty much only thing we got consumer defensive in the green. And then look at technology, down 7%, energy down over 6%, everything getting absolutely decimated. Stock market map, and that is why I'm doing this, even though I don't do this if it's not a stock market update. Apple down over 9%. When was the last time you saw that, right? Meta down 9%, Google down 4%. Look at these big banks. Everything is down. Bank of America down big time. JPM down big time. Microsoft down over 2%. Nvidia down nearly 8%. QCOM, AMD, I mean, you name it. Chips are getting, hit really hard. So, I mean, with all that happening, why these names are going down where we got, stocks like J&J, UNH, these are going up. We got Verizon going up, T-Mobile and all that. PG, another one. These names here had that rally for 2 years, just going straight up. We all talk about Nvidia stock, but Nvidia definitely, I mean, it's been on a monster run for a long time, guys. So if the market is pulling back, and we'll talk about it, how much the market went down and what's happening. It's not that much. You would think that, oh my God, it's a big pullback because a lot of people are used to seeing market green. These people are just trading for maybe a couple months, maybe a 1 or 2 year, or maybe they started right after pandemic. So they have never seen these type of moves where these are actually opportunities for traders like us. Now, with that being said, let's start with Apple stock. On Apple, stock is down over 9%, $21 down on the day. And you don't see these types of moves, every day in the market, and especially on a big name like Apple. Now, what is happening here? Well, we got a massive gap down from 221. So there is a massive gap right on top here on Apple. And we all know that Apple came back up here at 250 to close this gap. So there is a chance that Apple might come back up at some point, not tomorrow, not this week, maybe not even next week, but it can come back up and close this gap at 221. Now, the key things I want to look at here on Apple stock, guys, and that is why we do these technical analysis, right? So you can see right here, 200 to maybe even right down here 198, previous all-time highs, multiple rejection there, and now we're pretty much sitting right on top of that. So that's going to be a key level to watch. Underneath that level, we can definitely go down a bit more. But things are getting really oversold on shorter time frame. If we get some sort of a counter trend rally, there will be resistance at 207. And if we can get over that, we might see some of this gap here on top getting filled. So watch out for that here on Apple stock. That can really happen. And considering how the market sold off today, I don't see too much of a downside going into tomorrow morning. On Tesla stock is down 5.47%. So Tesla actually did well today, even though it's down, 5%. And I think that is due to Elon Musk might be, getting out of that Doge, thing from the government. And if it's out, he's focusing on the Tesla, company itself and all the other things that he got. I think Tesla is going to do really well, and that is why you're not seeing a really big punishment on Tesla today. Otherwise, considering the sell-off we saw in the market, this could have been down to like 200. Totally possible, and Tesla is known for that. Only down 15 bucks. I think that is great. Tesla really held up nicely, and you can see, guys. I mean, 258. We came really close to it, and we got over that, and now it's holding over 267 5-day moving average. So going into tomorrow's session, 267, and the key level here at 258. Underneath that, we might get a flush down to 240. Also, earnings coming up very soon, so keep an eye on that, and that is this month. Now, if Tesla can hold 267, we might see a move back up to 280. On Google, stock is down nearly 4%. And why Google is actually a better opportunity? Well, you can see it right here, guys. This was that previous high, and then we got a lot of, chop and rejection here near 148 to 150. And that is where it's actually holding up. So as long as you can stay over, I would say 150, 152-ish right here on Google stock, we can possibly see this gap getting filled right here at 156.353, and from there it can push even higher up to 162. But the key line in the sand definitely 150 to even 148 right down here, and maybe the gap fill reversal can also happen. We might slightly undercut that level 150 and get down to 144 to close this gap quickly, and then from there, a reversal can definitely happen in the short term on Google stocks. A great opportunity if you're looking at Google here. And I think this is not a zone where I would be shorting. Another thing I want to point out quickly here on Google stock, and these types of pattern does not play out immediately, guys. I mean, some people think like, oh, I'm going to buy it right now, and tomorrow morning, well, I'm going to be a rich guy. That's not how the stock market works. And I'm going to show you this quickly on my screen. We do have this bullish falling wedge type of pattern here on Google stock. So if we can get it over this 155 range, maybe even fill this gap and hold over that, you're going to see a push higher on Google stock. So definitely it's worth looking at it. If you're looking to maybe get into some Google here, we do have this bullish falling wedge pattern on Google stock. On Amazon, stock is down 9%, so massive dump off on Amazon. Unfortunately, we had puts right here that I bought at 202. I'm not holding anymore. Otherwise, this could have been a 500% play. But nobody knows. I mean, these type of moves can happen in the market. I mean, it's like once in a while you get these types of moves. Now, 180, guys. That's a big level here on Amazon. That is also the well target to the downside for the stock, and we hit that today, and we are slightly undercutting that and going under. So now, if we can get over 180, there is a huge chance that it can get up to 184 to maybe even up to 187.66 to close this gap from today up to even 190. So I think great opportunity, but you need some patience. You cannot buy it here and it drops another 4, 5, maybe $6, and then you're like panicking. Oh my God, this is it. It's crashing. If you're these type of trader, you're not gonna make money in the market. So great opportunity on all these big names. And then another thing I want to look at it very quickly, and I said at the beginning of my video that I'll have a look at it. If you look at Triple Q, which is the ETF for these big names, let me show you guys one thing here on Triple Q. So if I drop this down, okay, right here, right? So we're about 17% to the downside on Triple Q, which is really good because you don't see these types of moves in the market too often, and that is a great buying opportunity. Another thing, I'm not going to do a stock market update today, and that is why I'm putting this up. You can see this was the previous all-time high, right? 448, 449, 450, whatever you want to call it. A lot of consolidation here. So anything in between, as long as you can hold that, and things are oversold also, right here, guys. Let me zoom in. You can see multiple rejection there, lots of consolidation. We also had a drop, and then market took off from here, Nasdaq 100. So that is a great opportunity, if it's coming down here. And now, as we speak, it's right down there, guys. So I just wanted to point that out. Another thing I want to point out, I know these technical analysis, does not really help immediately, but patterns are there for a reason, and the gap rule applies. We got a massive gap at 465. There's also a huge dark pull order on Qs and even on SPY, so watch out for that. Currently, we're trading $8 below lower Bollinger Band, and you don't see these types of moves too often in the market. So great opportunity. Nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Tariffs, they were always there. It just, it's something new that, the president making a big deal out of it and saying that, we're gonna impose more tariff on these countries. People will panic, people will sell, people will buy, and then what? People will forget, just like they forgot there was a pandemic, there was COVID, and now do we go and take COVID shots now? No. Last 2 years, where is COVID? Gone, right? So people got scared, people sold stuff, and people were buying, holding, and then people forgot. And then some people, they actually got, really good money for buying that opportunity back in 2020, guys. So, people will forget, things will move on. It just right now it looks bad. I'm not gonna say it looks great, it looks bad, but these are opportunities to grab in the market. On AMD, it's down nearly 9%, and there is still bullish divergence right here on AMD and pretty much on everything, even on SPY and Qs. You can see we actually made a new low today, and the RSI made a higher low. So that is looking, bullish right here, but not, something that will just play out tomorrow and it's going to be a massive rally. Usually it takes time and it will just play out itself. You got to give time. Some people buy weekly calls, next week. I don't do these type of trades, especially when the market is down 6%. You gotta think outside the box. You gotta go a bit longer. You gotta buy shares. Now, AMD 93, your key line in the sand for tomorrow. Underneath that, it can go down to 90 and possibly even lower. We left a massive gap open here on top. So, if this thing wants to rally, watch out for the resistance at 96 and then possibly come back up and close this gap right here at 100.76, or I would say 101. So AMD might be the one that can actually move up here at least up to 100 in the short term, and that means a couple weeks, not tomorrow or next week. Unless we get some good news, it can definitely happen. Now, Meta is another one that got actually absolutely decimated today. And now, if you look at my screen, we're not even holding this 538 zone, which is the previous all-time high. And now looks like we're down here, guys. Pretty much down here. We got some support around 515, and then we got some a little bit of support here near 528. So these are levels to watch. Another gap down here, but I think if it gets down here, there is lots of consolidation that actually took place right here. So that could be an area where Meta can hold up. But we all know Meta was what, 350, 400 before, getting down to $88. So just because we're down over $200 does not mean that it cannot go down anymore. If we're buying Meta, I still think it's a bit overvalued and it can come down a bit more. So Meta, only thing I would say, catch that relief rally back up to the upside. So if this thing can get over 538, we might see that push up to 551, maybe even 558, and then we left a massive gap open here on top. It can get there 573.36 on Meta. Oh, Netflix down 2%, and I took puts today here at 940, and that position is green. And why? That is, type of a hedging, trade that I took, just hedging against the market because this thing is up quite a bit. So if I can, short this and buy the dips in different other products, well, if this thing comes down, guess what? It's called balancing your account, and a lot of people don't get that. If they buy calls, they're just go and buy everything, no puts, not shorting anything, just calls, and then what? Market drops down another 5%, and you're pretty much gone. Account is blown, right? You cannot do that. And then if you have money, you gotta spend it, where you don't just spend all the money at once. Very slow, and you got to keep some money always on your hand to buy that next dip. Now Netflix, you can see we got a huge rejection, inverted hammer here. We got over 936 and now closed below that, and now there will be critical support at 904. But if that gives up, there is room to the downside here on Netflix, easily down to 868, maybe even 842, and that is why I'm holding this hedge position right here on Netflix. And there is earnings coming up on the 17th, that is something to watch on Netflix. To the upside, of course, I'll get out before that. Uh, Resistance will be at 936, and if we can clear that, the next one will be at 951, and then 50-day moving average at 971. On Microsoft, it's down 2.36%. So this was a play that I took, but it was tomorrow's expiration. This morning, 370, I got in with 375 calls and pretty much going in the money and then selling out of it. I think I got out at 376, and that was it. This thing pulled back and closed at 373. So another big name getting really decimated here, and looks like we did not actually get down to this new low that we made a couple days ago. As a matter of fact, Monday. So technically, I mean, it's not bullish or anything, but I would say if you got in, respect this stop at 367. That's gonna be your final line in the sand on Microsoft for this week and even next week. As long as this low is holding, it's good to maybe get into Microsoft. Now to the upside, there will be resistance now at 377 over that 380 and then 384, and then we can talk about more upside. On Nvidia, stock is down nearly 8%, and Nvidia under 107. And just like I said before, it might be heading down there, down to, you can see right here, it's pretty much holding on to this $100 level that we held before. But if you're looking at a strong support, it'd be down here at 96. And I think if it's going down, it might go down there, definitely down to 96 under 100, and then possibly can go lower down to like 90. Now to the upside, now there will be resistance at 107, and only if we can clear that, we can talk about more upside on Nvidia.